Hey, I'm Eric Keach. I'm here with Lee Murray, and Lee has been a client with Russell now for quite some time, around 3 years, right, Lee, as the time that we're recording this.
That's right. Yep.
So been there kind of a long time, seen some really, really good results, and we're going to dive in and find out a little bit about Lee's story, kind of where he was, what he's gone through in the training, kind of to where he is now. So Lee, what I want to do is I want to jump back. Let's go back 3 years ago. Tell me, before you met Russell, kind of where you were. And kind of how you were feeling with things in terms of your health and fitness.
I was okay. I mean, I was doing. I've been a pretty regular sort of exerciser for quite some time, but I'd got to the point, I think, where I was doing quite a bit of running. I'd had a few knee problems with running and things with joints. But and kind of messed around a bit with gym work. Gone to the gym.
Right.
But never really seen any big changes or results. You kind of hit this kind of plateau, and you don't know where to go. But I'd always enjoyed sort of fitness and exercise and stuff. So, but yeah, probably got a bit disillusioned with kind of being at the gym and just doing the same odd stuff over and over again, really.
So just kind of got bored, maybe a little frustrated, doing the same thing, not seeing any changes.
Yeah, and kind of doing it, well, as I'll probably say, and got a little bit bored of doing things on your own a lot as well, because going to the gym, and particularly running as well, you kind of run, and even though you've got your headphones on or whatever, you're pretty much on your own, and trying to just beat yourself really, which is a bit a bit boring.
So was there a specific thing that kind of triggered, just like, all right, I really kind of need to look for a change? Was there something or some point that you just hit where, like, I need this now?
Do you know, it wasn't. Funny enough, it was. Although I think I'd known about Russell for a while, even before I started training with him, because he used to frequent the gym I used to go to, and a gym that actually my wife still goes to, and it was. So I'd kind of known about him and known a little bit about kettlebells and things like that, but it was not until my wife actually bought me I think it was a birthday present of some personal training sessions with him. So it actually wasn't me. It was actually my wife who kind of kickstarted it all. It wasn't.
Gotcha.
It wasn't a kind of a conscious thing with me. It was only taking the opportunity, I think, to kind of go to some personal training sessions with him that kind of kickstarted the whole thing.
What was going through your mind? So let's say you got those first few training sessions, and you walk in the door. Do you know what to expect? How were you thinking? How were you feeling?
Not really. No, no. I didn't. I didn't have many expectations of the actual session. I'd read a little bit about kettlebells but I think I'd certainly spoken to Russell on the phone. So we'd spoken a little bit on the phone, but I didn't have too many expectations. Apart from once we got the first session over and done with, I kind of knew what to expect after that for sure.
Were you nervous, maybe going in that first time?
No, not really. As I say, I'm pretty sure I'd met him before. He knew my wife June quite well, so
okay.
Yeah, and he's, well, as I would say, he's such a friendly guy anyway. He is pretty much makes you feel at ease straight away, so it's fine.
Good. So if anybody else is going to come in there, right, they may be nervous, but he's going to do a good job making them feel comfortable, like they're
totally.
welcome.
Yeah, I mean he's very good at adapting, even in group sessions actually. Although, so I started off with a PT session with him, but even in group sessions, he's quite good at adapting his style to either the group or individuals within the group. Actually, so he's quite good at that.
So tell me a little bit about the process. Like, you've been there 3 years, so tell me a little bit about kind of like the training. Like what the atmosphere is like within the place as you're going along.
Yeah, it's really great. I do most of my training in groups with Russell now, and it's just friendly, it's informal, it's fun, which is great, and it's also, there's quite a lot of joking around and kind of banter within the group, which he kind of encourages, and you can make fun of him and he'll make fun of you, but it's done in a fairly sort of light-hearted way. So
is it kind of like a family?
Yeah. That's a really great to describe it. I mean, he does it in his village. Well, I'd say the sessions that I go to. So some of the guys are actually from the village, so I think Russell knows them quite well and sees them from day to day. So yeah, it is. It's a good way to describe it. It is quite a family atmosphere for sure. Yeah.
What would you say kind of made this a little bit different? You know, like you were doing the running, you were doing the gym stuff. What makes this different from, like, I guess some of the other trainers or things that you've been doing, or maybe some other people out there?
Mm. I think a couple of things for me was, particularly with kettlebell training, is that what that brought to the table for me was that not just learning, not just the fitness and conditioning side of it, but actually learning a skill, and having to learn the technique, to so not just working hard, but also learning the technique to get the results was a big changer for me, because it just made it that much more interesting, because you not only did you started to see some results and getting fitter, but you also felt like you were learning an extra techniques.
Yeah.
And there's so many different techniques within kettlebell training that actually not only you kind of say, oh, I'm going to push myself in terms of I'm going to use a heavier weight, or I might do some more reps this time, but also you start learning the extra techniques. So whether you're doing the jerk or the snatch or just a normal swing, it's you're and Russell really does focus on technique a lot. In fact, he probably focuses, in my opinion anyway, on technique more than he does amount of reps. So Russell will often want to make sure that your technique is right before you're moving either up the weights or up the reps, which I think in kettlebells anyway is really important.
Yeah.
Because obviously you could injure yourself if you got your technique right, and he's very aware of that. When during the session, so focuses a lot on technique.
Okay. Now I'm curious. All right. At the time we're talking now, it's been 3 years that you've been there, right? You were before that, right? You kind of hit a plateau. You were frustrated, a little bored with what you're doing. What is it that's kept you there for 3 years? Because that's a long time to be training with somebody.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's certainly the group. The group dynamic has been good because, you kind of not look forward to the sessions, but also look forward to seeing the guys and the girls and having chat and having a laugh, and so I think that has been important. But also, I think that the sessions are never the same. So he's always bringing in new techniques. He's always bringing in new ideas. Russell often goes to, in fact, it's always a bit of a laugh because he'll always come back and say, I've been away on a course, and we go, oh no, not another course, and then it's going to be a tough session because he would have brought back some ideas from the course or from the seminar he's been on. So he's constantly changing and evaluating his own sessions to make sure that he's bringing something new to the table to challenge you.
Okay.
And I think that's been really important.
Okay. Now let's jump to the fun stuff. This is what people always want to hear. They always want to hear the results. So I don't know. Did you have any goals going in, trying to look for results?
I didn't really know.
Okay.
I mean, I certainly wanted to get. It sounds a bit obvious, but I certainly wanted to get stronger.
Yeah.
I think certainly wanted to get a little bit more flexible. I was very tight on my shoulders. I'm not very flexible around sort of this sort of upper body area.
Okay, so what have you seen? What have been the biggest results you've seen?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think my core stability and my core strength has probably seen the biggest result. I mean, I wouldn't say I've got sort of bigger, in terms of bulk, but that was never what I was interested in. But my sort of core stability, so back, stomach, I think has seen the biggest result, but also just more flexible. I mean, my hamstrings now, when I go out running now, it feels like I'm on springs.
Wow.
Because with kettlebells, it's all about sort of firing up your hips and firing up your glutes and firing up your hamstrings, and so that sort of side of me, in terms of how kind of elastic I am now compared to where I was before, is huge. So I mean, even when I don't run, I don't even feel the need to run as much as I used to. But when I do, you kind of feel like
Yeah.
you're bouncing on the springs. So,
So it's made things that you used to be doing a lot easier.
absolutely. And as I say, things like I think it's particularly core. I mean, hardly have any back issues now. Used to get some sore backs here and there,
Yeah.
but have hardly any of those.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, that's been good.
Any other side effects outside of maybe the physical thing? Like, have you noticed maybe has there been any emotional changes or energy changes going through this? Because you were in pretty good shape coming in, but did you notice anything else?
Um, yeah, I mean it's hard. I think you kind of feel stronger. I mean, I don't know whether I am. I mean,
Yeah.
trying to figure out whether you're stronger than you used to be is a bit of a weird thing to kind of do. But I think you kind of do feel stronger, and I think as soon as you start feeling stronger, I think you just feel a little bit more confident
Yeah.
in yourself. And certainly, it's great. I mean, the sessions I do, we do a session on Saturday morning, and that's a great way to start the weekend because you just feel like you're kind of energized for the whole weekend. So I think certainly I always look forward to training, and so I think certainly whether it's whatever time of day you're doing it, I think you always come back with a bit of a buzz and,
Okay.
and more energy than you had before.
Okay. Now, obviously,
That's
there's a lifestyle change, with some of the stuff that you're doing. Obviously, it's kind of become a pattern and a routine. Would you go as far as say maybe that this has kind of changed your life in a way too?
Oh, it has. Yeah. I mean, it's, as I say, not just I think changing life from meeting different people, but also I think it's given me a pattern. I think and a platform now as I've got older to realise that actually it doesn't matter how old you are, you can do. I mean, when I go to sessions now, he's got younger guys in the session,
Yeah.
but I can do everything that they can do, and I'm probably, just because I'm doing it longer and stuff, but I'm probably above those. I mean, I tend to be the guy lifting most of the heavier weights now, even though I'm not, So I think, yeah, certainly age is no kind of barrier for me, which has been, it's been good. As you get older, you
Yeah,
want to feel
yeah,
like
of
you
course.
can carry on and maintain that level, and it doesn't really matter. So
Okay.
that's been good for me.
All right. Now, would you say? Well, actually, let's say someone's watching this. Maybe they're in like a similar situation that you were, a few years back, thinking about training with Russell and doing all this, but they heard about it, but they're kind of on the fence. They're not exactly sure. What would you want to say to somebody that's on the fence?
I'd say try it. I mean, I think it's so, yeah. I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of. As I say, I mean, I think with kettlebells particularly, there's a bit of skill involved, but
Yeah.
it's fun to learn. It's not difficult.
Right.
It's easy, and as I say, Russell's so kind of friendly and natural, and as I say, it's no problem. So I think I'd certainly give it a go. I mean, be ready to hurt because during that first and that first month when you start using parts of your body you haven't used before, and your hamstrings, you use them in a way you've never used them before. As an example, I mean they'll hurt, not in a bad, horrible way, but so be ready to feel
Right.
that effect. But
Okay.
I mean, that just goes away, and then
Okay.
it's great after that.
Okay. And I just got a few more questions. I want to just shift gears. Since you've been there for a few years, you've gotten to know Russell pretty good. I want to talk about who he is as a person. So, give me a few, words or phrases that kind of come to mind that describe what type of person he is. Not so much as a trainer, but more as a person.
Yeah, he's got a great sense of humor. He's a real family man. I mean, he's got three smallish children, and yeah, so I think he definitely can empathize with a kind of family situation, with kind of a busy lifestyle that you can get into if you've got a family, or even if even if you've got a busy work life. I mean, I think he certainly appreciates that, and kind of understands that. So yeah, I think he's just I think sort of friendly guy. I think he values friendship quite a lot. He's clearly got a kind of a strong group of friends, and I think tends to value the people he trains. I think he likes to value them as friends too. I think that's also quite important to him.
So so
Sorry, go on.
he's yeah, so he's a caring guy. Like he genuinely
Oh yeah,
cares about you.
totally. Yeah. I mean, he'll. I mean, I remember I've had a few injuries over the years, as you just generally do, and yeah, always gives you a call and says, "Are you okay?" And will often offer advice and help above and beyond what he would need to do. And I think that's where the kind of friendship thing comes in, because you know, he's not just a trainer. I think ultimately, I think he's a friend as
Yeah.
well, which is a huge thing. Yeah, a huge thing when you're training with someone. And he's you're a client of his, but also
Right. Okay.
a mate as well. So that's good.
Okay. Now the last question I got for you is let's say Russell decided to shut everything down, right? And he just basically shut everything down. You had no way to ever contact him again. Okay. You couldn't email him, text, phone, nothing. You could
Mhm.
never see him again except this one last time. So this being the last time you could ever see him, what would you want to say to him?
Oh my God. Well, I think I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say don't shut down, because I don't know what I'd do if he did, really. Yeah, yeah, that's a really hard question actually. But
Yeah.
I'd say yeah. I think probably a thank you, and then probably say don't yeah don't shut down, carry on going.
Very,
Because
very good.
it just becomes, I think more importantly, it just becomes part of your life, and you'd miss that you'd certainly miss that part of your life a lot.
Yeah.
I would.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Lee, I appreciate you taking the time out of the day to do this.
That's
Very
okay.
interesting to hear your story, kind of where you were, how long you've been there, and the results that you've seen. And I want to wish you the best of luck with everything moving forward.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
All right, take care.